Welcome to the August 18th, August 2018 meeting of the Omaha Public Power District Board of Directors. Before we get rolling, why don't we go to this safety briefing? And Mr. Burke.
Great, thank you very much. You're in the auditorium of Energy Plaza. In the event that we have to exit this room for any emergency, it could be fire, it could be weather related, or other emergencies, we'll be escorted by our safety group to the back of the building and exit. If it's a fire, we'll exit to the nearest exit. If we happen to go down these steps, if the fire is on the west side of the building and we go down these steps, we would ask you to use your three-point touch, which would be your hand on the railing and 2 feet on the ground. In the event that we are having to exit this room because of weather-related issues, we would be escorted to a safe area, which could be in the garage on the west side or to the call center on the east side of the building. The fire extinguishers are near the door of conference room A, which is out this back door and just to the left around the corner. If you have a medical condition, please write it down or tell your neighbor. The AD and the first aid kit are one on top of each other, which is as you go into the cafeteria area, it's just on your right-hand side in our atrium, and they're one on top of each other. Is anybody here certified in the use of an AED or in CPR? So we have several here as well. And I would ask our security folks if you would call 911 in the event that we need it. I would appreciate that. And I think that concludes our safety briefing. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, first and foremost, let's please silence your electronic devices. This regular board meeting will follow the agenda made available to the public upon entering the meeting. This meeting is streaming live on the internet at OPPD.com. Our regular board meetings have public comment periods on the agenda. Following board discussion on each pending matter, I will ask for public comment before bringing the matter to a vote. Also, prior to adjournment of the meeting, you'll have the opportunity to comment on any other OPPD matters. If you wish to speak, please approach the microphone to your far left and state your name and address, and state the name of any organization or person you are representing. Organizations should choose one representative to speak on their behalf so as to avoid repetitive commentary. Comments made by all parties during the meetings are a part of the official public record and will be recorded. Each individual will be allotted 3 minutes per matter, pending at the discretion of the board. To assist you, we use a red, yellow, green light indicator to ensure each member of the public receives a consistent amount of time. Ms. Labs will signal you when 30 seconds remain, as well as when time is up. Please direct your comments to me, not to other board members or the executive team. I'll either respond to you directly or defer response to another board member or officer of the district. If you brought written materials, Ms. Labs will receive them on our behalf. Christy, will you please take the roll?
Yep. Barrett.
Ready to work.
Kavanaugh.
Here.
Gay.
Here.
Mines.
Here.
Moody.
Here.
Trinan.
Here.
Yoder.
Here.
Agenda item number 4, announcement regarding public notice of meeting. Notice of the time and place of this meeting was publicized by notifying the area news media, by publicizing same in the Omaha World Herald and outlets, by displaying such notice on the arcade level of Energy Plaza since August 8th, 2018, and by mailing such notice to each of the district's directors on that same date. A copy of the proposed agenda for this meeting has been maintained on a current basis and is readily available for public inspection in the office of the district's corporate secretary. Additionally, a copy of the open meetings law is available for inspection in the public meeting book located in this meeting room. Board consent action items. The consent agenda items are as follows. Item number 5, approval of the June 2018 Comprehensive Financial and Operating Reports, July 12, 2018 Board Meeting Minutes, and the August 16, 2018 Agenda. Item 6, SD5 Customer Satisfaction Monitoring Report, Resolution number 6262. Item 7, SD7 Environmental Stewardship Monitoring Report, Resolution number 6263. Item 8, Nebraska City Station Unit 1 Turbine Outage Projects, Resolution number 6264. Item 9, Fall 2018 Fiber Optic Ground Wire Installation, Resolution number 6265. Item 10, SDA Employee Relations Monitoring Report, Resolution number 6266. Item 11, Omaha Public Power District's 401k Retirement Savings Plan, Resolution number 6267. Item 12, Omaha Public Power District's 457 Retirement Plan, Resolution number 6268. Item 13, Omaha Public Power District Executive Life Insurance Plan, Resolution number 6269. Item 14, Omaha Public Power District Retirees Medical Coverage Premium Plan, Resolution number 6270. Item 15, Omaha Public Power District Retirement Plan Resolution Number 6271. Item 16, amend Resolution 6253, Resolution Number 6273. If there are no corrections, changes, or additions to these items, I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Obviously, there's a lot of items here under consent. These items were all discussed at length during Tuesday's committee meetings. If any directors would care to comment on any of these consent items, it's the appropriate time. Tim?
Yeah, thanks, Director Kavanaugh. I agree. I'm glad you pointed that out because I was going to point it out. I know 6 of these items on here were from the governance committee that were just, I'd call them cleanup things on our, as you can see, the retirement, the life insurance and all those. Those were technical changes on some of the wording, so not a lot of the real changes, but technical changes that had to be done. So Mart Sedke and her group did a great job getting those done. So it looks like an awful lot. Well, an awful lot was done. But as you said, I wanted to make sure we did discuss these at length on Tuesday's committee meeting. So thank you.
Does anyone have any other comments? Any other board members have any comments on any of these consent items?
The only thing that I would add, we've got 3 monitoring reports for strategic directives, 5, 7, and 8. And not to go into them in detail, but I know that there's been a lot of discussion in the public about SD7, so I thought I'd just give kind of a really brief, here's what's coming. So what we're voting on today is that is whether or not the district is sufficiently compliant with Strategic Directive 7 as written. It does not include in any way, shape, or form any changes to SD7. Our Public Information Committee has met multiple times to talk about changes to SD7. We've got sort of a working draft that is going to be constantly changing over time. And so in the coming days, weeks, and months, Mary Fisher is going to take the lead on that for the management team, and we'll be meeting with directors in groups or individually. It sounds like the plan is for us as a full board on September 11th at our Tuesday committee meeting to have a discussion about it. So that's the first time when we, as a group, will publicly talk about SD7 and what potential changes will occur. And then there are a couple pathways from there, depending upon where that conversation goes. If we decide at that time, generally speaking, that it's ready for public comment, then we'll sort of start the 30-day clock on it and open it up for public comment. If the board decides at that time that it needs to go back to the Public Information Committee, then it may get kicked back for changes that would then potentially come in October or November. So unless something, in my view, and I've been involved in all these conversations, Tim and I have been on the PI committee, and Director Kavanaugh has attended as well. I would be surprised if we don't at least get to a discussion on September 11th. I think that the meetings that will happen for directors between now and then are very much about bringing everyone else up to speed on a lot of conversations that have happened to date. So in all likelihood, what you can look forward to is an enjoyable, robust discussion on September 11th about our environmental stewardship policy. Did I miss anything on that?
Nope, that's a good summary.
Thanks, Craig. Anyone else? Okay. Do any members of the public wish to comment on any of these consent items 5 through 16? Dr. Corbin?
David Corbin, 1002 North 49th Street, Chair of the Nebraska Sierra Club. Thank you for the explanation. As you know, I've been at the committee meetings too, so I just have, as I mentioned at the last board meeting, a need, in my view, to show how different SDs overlap with each other. I was happy to see that you were discussing environmental impacts when you placed orders or accepted contracts, not just looking at the money, but also looking at the long-term and the environmental. And I hope that that can be part of your strategic directives, to use that as one component that you use to evaluate. The other I mentioned before last year, and that is divestment. So you were talking about retirement. Nowhere did I see environmental stewardship there. You have progressive cities such as Norman, Oklahoma, that have committed themselves to 100% renewable energy. And as you know, many of us have asked that you set a goal for that. So, and the whole country of Ireland is now divested, and you may have seen that the Bank of the West is now divesting of fossil fuels. So at the very least, you should cross over and say, okay, our investments are investments in line with our environmental stewardship as well. So I just encourage you to keep those in your mind and cross-reference strategic directives. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other members of the public, Christie, would you call the roll, please?
Barrett,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Gay,
Yes.
Mines.
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Trinan,
Yes.
Yoder.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 17, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the Omaha Public Power District that the appointment of Troy R. Vi as Vice President and the compensation and benefits as set forth on the attached Exhibit B and are hereby approved effective September 1st, 2018.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Tim?
Yep. Tim, do you want to?
Sure. We have one of our senior managers who has given us some a really nice notice that he plans on retiring on December 1st. Mr. Mohammed Dogman, who's been at the district for over 30 years and has been involved in a number of different things on the engineering substation, a lot of our development that's going on in this region as well, and been a critical member of our senior team. And so he'll be retiring December 1. And has given us some leeway to be able to hire another individual to replace him. And so we are recommending to the board Mr. Troy Vi. Actually, we're recommending his wife, Jill, but Troy comes with that package. But recommending Troy Vi replace Mo and begin that transition between now and actually beginning September 9th through December 1st. And Troy comes with a great background in the utility industry, over 20 plus years in the utility industry and the marketing and the finance side of the business. And most recently, earlier this year, we moved him to a director of our center operations. And so he's really had the opportunity to get deeply involved in the day-to-day work that goes on in our centers and serving customers and responding to outages and really engaging with our staff. And Mo has worked directly with him in that transition. So we look forward to have Troy being part of the senior team.
One thing, Mike, yeah, I'd just like to say, Tim, good points, and Mo, thanks for giving us time, of course. You always do a great job, and we all rely on you. So, Troy, we're going to need your cell number, too, to call you in the middle of the night. But anyway, I did want to point out, though, this is very good to take someone from our own ranks, and there's a lot of talent. I mean, there's a lot of talent in this company, but to take someone from our own ranks, and I've worked with Troy, and we all have on different things, so he's more than qualified. But anyway, that's you're doing a good job also bringing up new leaders.
Thanks. And Troy has started with us in the energy trading and marketing side of the business, so certainly understands the markets and the generation and the work that we're doing. But he has also led several critical initiatives, certainly one that just really, our involvement in the SPP market, the day-ahead market, really was critical in him coming to OPPD and helping us through that transition. Did just an exceptional job with that, and I think has positioned us incredibly well in the SPP market from a competitive perspective. Has worked on a variety of our strategic initiatives, certainly on the cost side, as well as some of the really integrated energy marketplace initiatives that the board has heard over the last year and a half that really, I believe, will position OPPD much better and stronger for the future. And just really finished up before he took over the T&D side with some of the derivative-related work that he was doing, and that his background was really in that. And that'll help us reduce risk, increase revenues, potentially reduce costs as we begin to think about that in the marketplace. So he's done just an exceptional job in everything that he's had the opportunity to touch. He's actually been part of our Accelerated Leadership Development Program here at OPPD and has been critical to that and a leader in that. And so it's with my strong recommendation that the board, and we need 6 votes, and I know Ann's not here, but the board votes to accept him into that role.
Great.
And so we look forward to him.
Like you just said, Troy's done a great job in doing the presentations he's made to us the last couple of years. He's explained things patiently and in a manner that the layman can understand, and we certainly are effective in presentations. You're a good man. We're glad to have you. And I had a chance to visit with Jill and Troy before the meeting today, and I forgot to apologize to you, Jill, in advance for the late night phone calls you might get with some meetings nowadays, as Tim kind of alluded to a little bit. Not going to hopefully there won't be any. But so, and again, thanks a lot, and we appreciate the work you've done, and we share in your accomplishment here. Okay, if there's no other comments, any members of the public care to comment? You seeing none? Oh, there's one. I'm sorry.
Wait, I think Matt.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Gregory. I'm with Nebraska Wildlife Federation. Been here a couple times now, so I think some of you may remember me. I'm here usually talking about the Husker Power Plan, which I just want to touch on briefly today. I just returned from a 2-week trip, so actually just a little bit about SD7. I submitted comments on those.
Sir?
Yes.
Not to cut you off. If you want to make comments in general about something that's not on the agenda, we will have time at the end of the meeting to bring that up. Right now, we're kind of discussing the promotion of a gentleman to...
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were in the public comment period.
That's okay. Thanks, Ed.
Troy was worried too, by the way.
Yeah.
So.
I have nothing good or bad to say.
Matt votes for Troy.
Okay, well, I think that's all the public comment on this issue. Could we go ahead and vote, Chrissy?
Yep. Barrett?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Gay?
Yes.
Mines?
Yes.
Moody?
Yes.
Trinan?
Yes.
Yoder?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. That brings us up to, if we get back to our agenda, time for the president, item number 18, the president's monthly state of the utility.
Very good. Thank you very much. I will start as we start from our generation side to the customer and the community side of our business. July baseload generation, as you see up here, Nebraska City 1 was in service for the entire month of July, and with the hot summer conditions, certainly in the first part of July there, pretty much operated continuously with the high load conditions, especially with some of the transmission constraints and a variety of other issues in the marketplace. Did a great job. Nebraska City 2 also remained in service for the entire month as well. It had a small D rate. Actually, it wasn't that small. It was about a 250 megawatt D rate. Once we were able to take it offline, replace a circulating pump, brought it back on, and returned on July 23rd. Units 1, 2, and 3 at North Omaha continued their operation on natural gas. I don't think they've actually been used on natural gas this year, but are certainly available and provide that capacity capability for us as well. Unit number 4 was available for full capacity during the month, with the exception of one small forced outage, and Unit 5 was also available for most of the month, with the exception of a small D rate with a minor issue that had to be resolved. And in our peaking stations, I would ask, this is one of those accomplishments that I think need to be recognized across the organization. You know, we're very focused on safety, and I think the board had the opportunity to hear a little bit about that and some of the work that we have done in the past several months. But our peaking station group have had no injuries or incidents during the month. But at the end of July, this Department 471 at OPPD, has gone 23.8 years without a DART injury, 11.7 years without a recordable incident, and 7.6 years without any injury accidents at all. And it's quite an accomplishment for the great work that they do, typically under high stress. When those units go down, we typically need them, and they do a great job of bringing them back up. So just great work by our team, and focus on safety from our generation side of the business as well. On a renewable side, renewable energy contributed in the month of July to 20.8% of OPPD's retail sales. The wind capacity factor for the month of July was 30.1%. But year-to-date, renewable energy contributed to year-to-date, renewable energy contributed to 31.6% of OPPD's retail sales. And as we kind of move through the September timeframe, we're going to see that capacity factor increase during that time of the year. And the wind capacity factor year-to-date is 43.5%, which is pretty strong. I'm going to talk about a variety of items about honoring our community. This is not an OPPD truck or an OPPD mascot, but OPPD participated in the Sresco Community Day Parade. It's just part of the events that we pick over the course of the year to participate in. We had a variety of our folks from our Ashland office and a variety of employees participate in the parade, and it was just a great opportunity for us to be active, involved in that community as well. We also had over 50 OPPD volunteers and interns that spent at least 1 hour of their time volunteering for the 24 Hours of Impact campaign. This campaign is developed by the Greater Omaha Chamber of Commerce with support from a variety of the regional counties as well. And so OPPD had over 50 employees that participated in the 24 Hours of Giving and did a great job in a variety of organizations. Completely Kids, Open Door Mission, the Cross Training Center, Teammates, and the Stevens Center. Another opportunity, our Young Professional Group each year, and this is our 5th annual Young Professional Group Volleyball event that they have on a Saturday morning. This was at the Stinnett Sandbar in Papillion. I think sand's important, but maybe guess on that day the bar was probably pretty important as well. But the proceeds of this event, where they raise money for this event, goes and went to the Book Trust, which is a literacy program that provides books to needy kids in 10 schools in OPPD service territory. So it's a great opportunity. And I think a couple months ago, we actually had some other employees that were doing a book drive, and we raised over almost 1,000 books that we were able to give to kids. And we think that's a big deal. But I would tell you, in some of the work that our employees do in some of the most critical schools in the eastern part of our city, you would think that when you ask kids to, during the summer, go home and read a book, to most of us probably in this room, we would say, sure, that's fine. We could do that when we were kids and do that when we were in junior high and in grade school, but many of these kids do not have books at home. And so this is a great opportunity for these kids to have books and be able to continue their reading and increase reading literature, which we found to be very critical in their growing growth and development. And then also OPPD has continued to work with the Salvation Army in their back-to-school backpack program. We had 13 facilities that collected books and all the other things that go with that. And our employees just do a great job of making sure that we support these great programs for kids, that they have the supplies and the necessary items to go back to school. This next item is kind of interesting. The individual is not pictured here because he's didn't necessarily want his picture to be here. He's not wanted for anything. But Rich Sedke retired from OPPD this year. And Rich has been actively involved in a variety of programs over the course of time, and actually started when him and his son, in a Boy Scout initiative, began to repair bikes for kids that did not have bikes. And Rich would say he grew up in a very impoverished part of our town and neighborhood and community, and it was an opportunity where he found many times when he had his bikes, his bike, when he was a kid, he was able to get out of bad situations quickly. And so he has really focused on repairing bikes and bringing them back into the community. So he's fixed and donated over 75 bikes for the Benson West Elementary School, additional bikes for Charles Drew Health Center, for the Omaha Police Department, for Mad Dads of Lincoln and Omaha, several other schools, including Florence Elementary. And so he is ramping up his efforts now in retirement with the Team Bike Rescue. And him and his wife Lori and their sons are really passionate about this. But it's a great opportunity to showcase one of our employees who was so active early in their career fixing computers and giving them to needy people, but because of the requirements on licensing and all those other things, moved to bikes. And it's a great opportunity for Rich, and great opportunity for us to showcase what he's doing, not only in his active career at OPPD, but in his retirement career as well. It's a great program that he's actively been involved in. And then because of our ongoing relationship with Salvation Army in a variety of ways, OPP was recognized as one of the partners for good. And in this picture, you see Lisa Olson and Lori Zagurski, who is heading our community initiatives, are being recognized for doing some great things in the community in partnership with the Salvation Army. And it's just another opportunity for us to see how we're giving back to these organizations. And then lastly, as we kind of started this conversation on the generation side, on the success that we've had around safety, it's just a good reminder of us of the work that our men and women do. And in this example, we're highlighting Wesley Hicks, who died on July 17, 1950, after making contact with a 13 kV line while working near 65th and Sprague in Omaha. He was 29 years old when he died, with 5 years of experience at OPPD at the time of his death. He was survived by his wife, Dorothy, and a child. And it's just a great reminder for us about the important work that we do to serve customers and sometimes how dangerous that it can be. So with that, I conclude the President's report.
Thanks, Tim. Item number 19 now is the opportunity for comment on other items of district business from the public. I bet we have at least one.
One of these meetings, I'll get the public comment period down. So I submitted comments on SD7 a couple of weeks ago before I left for a trip. Didn't know if I'd be able to be at this meeting, so I sent those to Chair Kavanaugh and members of the SD7 committee. So please take a look at those, and I'm available for any questions or feedback on that. So yeah, I just wanted to comment briefly on my trip west through beginning in western Nebraska, where I saw coal train after coal train streaming into the state, and thinking about the Husker Power Plant and how what we want to do is rely on in-state resources, development here, money in Nebraska and for Nebraska. And then going further west, I had the opportunity to go by the Powder River Basin. The air quality was worse than I thought it would be. I had heard reports that sometimes the air there is as bad as in Los Angeles. And then got to the west in Oregon, for example, the air and the smoke from the wildfires were quite bad. Again, something not caused by climate change, but made worse. So things to keep in mind. I also had an opportunity to send all the board members the Yale climate study map and graphics on how people feel about climate change. It covers the whole country, but zoomed in on the Omaha metro area and some of the counties in the service area. So it's definitely on people's minds. So thank you.
Thank you.
John Pollock, 1412 North 35th Street, Omaha. Well, I'd like to first thank Director Moody for your clarification on what was going on with SD7. Appreciate that. Far as the weather goes, we're looking at below normal temperatures about the next 10 days. We've got a weather system coming through later Sunday into early Monday. Right now, it looks like the severe weather potential isn't especially high, but it is a significant weather system, and I'm mindful that we have to keep track of those because sometimes they have an intense core, like the one that got Marshalltown and other places in Iowa, which was actually a very small but intense weather system. Other than that, going farther out, we're actually going to be thinking about early fall, early next week, but then it's going to warm up again. The high pressure dome, which has been over the western U.S. much of the summer, is more or less going to stay there for the next couple of weeks. And what that has been doing, it's been accentuating the forest fire situation out there, but it has also spread smoke across the entire U.S. and Canada at various times. The Perseid meteor shower got pretty much smoked out the other night. That was smoke aloft from the western fires. That's going to continue as long as that high pressure dome is out there. There's some preliminary indications that we might have that dome flatten out and move toward the east after about 10 days. If that happens, it would mean a late August into Labor Day type of heat wave for us. It would bring some relief to the west. And that's about as far out as I can see right now. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
I'm going to bring John's American Scientist up here to make my testimony sound more official. David Corbin, Chair of Nebraska Sierra Club. As you heard at the committee meeting, Lisa mentioned that I am one of the people that took advantage of your electric car incentive, and I thank you for that. I'm still going through the process. I do have my charge point installed now, and it's working.
So you got rid of the bike?
Pardon me?
Did you get rid of your bike then?
No, I bike today.
Okay.
That's even less energy. And as you know, so I'm waiting for the DMV to send me back, and then I'll see how all of those return incentives work, plus the tax rebate that comes later on. So again, I appreciate that, but I just wanted to let you know, I'm inviting you now formally. I'll then also invite you in writing that on September 9th is National Drive Electric Week event here in Omaha at Creighton University. So far, we have 15 cars that are signed up. It'd be an excellent opportunity for, I've been in touch with Lori and Heather, hoping that it'll be an opportunity for you to promote this and future incentives. So I hope that you can at least drop by. It's from 11 until 3 on the 9th of September. And then finally, I just want, before the Sierra Club presented you with an option for your solar array about donating, buying it on behalf of a charity's name, and being able to donate that energy to the charity. As you know, I've been testifying here for many years, and one thing I noticed is I don't ever get any feedback. And I just listened to the CEO that just recently stepped down from PepsiCo, and people were saying how she was one of the best CEOs in the nation. And one thing that she said that struck a chord with me is that she listens to people that are critical of her company, whether she likes it or not. And if she doesn't like it, she tells them why it won't work. She doesn't just let it lay. So I encourage you to do that. Remember, I'm representing over 3,000 people. It's not just me, and feedback would be helpful. Believe it or not, every once in a while we actually might have a good idea that can be helpful. And finally, I'll just end with the green fund that I've talked about for ages. I don't see anything about how that's used. I see that under customer satisfaction as well as SD7, environmental stewardship, and knowing how that is used and how it will be used in the future. So I encourage you to do that. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Okay, seeing no other comments, we're adjourned. Thanks, folks.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Go on our shoulders and carry them out.
Don't see my. Yeah, very much.
He'll still be around.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's not going
December
anywhere.
1st.
He's not going